Years ago, when I started buying old paintings at country house auctions all over England, I decided I'd better learn to clean and restore them myself. So I did. One day, I bought a small painting for 25 pence from a junk shop in Brighton. It didn't even have a stretcher, it was just a loose canvas, and it had almost certainly been cut out of its frame by a thief. When I cleaned off the top layer of paint, there, underneath it, was a beautiful little Renoir landscape. The idea for the story you're going to see now actually came to me while I was working on this picture.
Oh, the caviar, Clarence, splendid, splendid. No, yeah, that's right. Put that over there. You like all that junk. The lemon here, please. The caviar there. Oh, that's just splendid. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, on the plane coming back from New York. I found myself sitting next to Paul Mannheim, you know, the art critic. And, well, one thing led to another. And when we got back to London, he came around the flat and took a look at my Picasso. He said, I'll take another look at it after it's been cleaned. Well, you can imagine, I didn't take very kindly to that. I do love this stuff. This is just marvelous. What were we saying?
About the Picasso?
Oh, yes, yeah. So, well, this friend of mine, well, she's just a compulsive. So I've learned to do it myself. I've cleaned almost half the Picasso already. Thank you, darling. What's more, I'm pretty good at it, too. All it takes is a steady hand and a little patience. These professionals who go on so about the secrets of their trade and charge these exorbitant prices, well, they get no more of my business. From now on, as far as my own collection is concerned, I'll clean them myself, restore them if necessary. I've set myself to clean mine. Oh, darling, I'm boring you. I am sorry.
No, Lionel, darling. It's just, I've had such a long day. Please, forgive me. I'm having a lovely time.
No, I've got no right going on about my pictures like that. I sometimes forget how young you are. Would you care to dance?
No, thank you. I love being with you, Lionel. You know that. It's too...
Oh, Miss Heavylegs, we're going home. Clarence, please. Friday?
I'd love to.
I'll call for you about 8. Sunday, we're invited to the Mulherons. Janet, we're being thought of as a couple. Perhaps we should give them something really to talk about.
Friday. 8 o'clock.
Gladys, what a coincidence.
Isn't it just? May I give you a ride?
You certainly may.
I'll not only take you home, I'll give you one for the road. At my place.
This really must be my last.
Lionel, you must learn to unbend a little. Relax. But I'll tell you something. Your slightly old-fashioned manners, your formality, your courtesy, that's what makes you so irresistible.
My first wife always said it was my money.
Oh, Lionel.
What is it? I should have noticed that's new.
This. Now, tell me what you think of my new portrait. You know the artist, of course.
No.
And you're meant to be such a great collector? Royden, John Royden. He's all the rage. Oh, yes. Everyone's lining up, simply lining up to get themselves done. He charges thousands for a commission. I think he's a genius. Don't you?
Well, that seems to be going a little far.
Well, take a good look at it, Lionel. Do you see how beautifully the dress is painted?
Not especially.
Oh, come with me. I want you to look at it carefully. Well?
Certainly seems to use a lot of paint. Maybe that's why he charges so much.
Lionel, you're being superior. I think I'll tell you a secret.
No.
This is probably the best kept secret in London. A woman's secret. It's known to about 30 or 40 women altogether, and not a single man. Except him, of course, John Royden. And now I'm going to tell you.
No secrets, please. Thank you very much. I've got to go home.
Well, Lionel, don't you want to hear my secret? Sit down and make yourself comfortable. But first of all, promise you won't tell a soul.
I promise.
Good. Now listen. I suppose you know John Royden paints only women?
No.
Well, you noticed how thick the paint was on the dress.
Oh, yes.
Can you guess why?
No.
When I went for my first sitting, John asked me if I didn't think that most clothed portraits of women were artificial and flat, as if the dress were draped over a log of wood. And he asked me if I knew why. Do you know why, Lionel?
No, can't say that I do.
John said it's because the painters themselves didn't really know what was underneath.
Well, that is certainly an original thing for a painter to say.
Oh, well, let me finish. And he said that's why I insist on painting my subjects, first of all, in the nude.
And then you walked out. Well, obviously you didn't.
Well, of course I didn't. First you pose in the nude, and then you come back and he paints on your underclothing. And when that's dry, he paints on the dress. He builds it up, you see, layer by layer.
Well, perhaps he once heard of Goya.
Who?
Oh, never mind.
Oh, I must confess, I rather enjoyed sitting there in the middle of his room with nothing on. It was quite exciting. Don't you want life to be exciting, Lionel?
Well, Gladys, if you'll forgive me, what I really want is to go home.
Wouldn't you have liked to have been a painter? Oh, think what fun they must have. Of course, it's all a little clinical, like undressing in front of the doctor. But there's nothing clinical about you, Lionel. I'd pose for you whether you were a painter or not.
Well, I'm not.
Oh, you...
Let me have my coat.
You disappoint me. I mean,
I'm terribly
disappoint
sorry.
me. To think of the trouble I went to. I waited almost an hour.
What?
Oh, nothing. I just meant to say I've waited all my life to meet someone like you. Don't you find me just a little bit attractive, Lionel?
Gladys, I think you are very beautiful. You have style and certain character and, well, all the qualities that I admire very much. But really, I'm not part of your scene. I'm very set in my ways.
Oh,
Really,
Lionel,
I don't
come
belong
on.
in this modern world. I try. See in the right places. I've even tried to learn to dance. Hopeless failure. I go to Saint-Tropez, lie in the sun. You know, I actually blush when I have to address a half-naked woman. I simply don't believe in casual relationships.
Who said anything about casual?
Oh, that's very flattering.
Oh, if only I'd met you years ago, before I met George Ponsonby. I should have known by his name it couldn't last. Ponsonby. But I thought third time the lucky.
Well, you're very sweet, very sweet. But well, at the moment, I'm, well, more or less engaged elsewhere.
What to what? Janet de Pelagia?
Oh, you know.
Of course I know. Everybody knows. And I also know that nothing's happened.
Well, how do you happen to know that?
Because I heard Janet say so.
You heard Janet say that?
No, Lionel, I'm not getting into this. Except she does say some rather peculiar things about you.
What sort of peculiar things?
Oh, no. It'd be wrong of me to tell you.
Well, what did she say?
Well, now, let me see. Oh, of course, she was only joking, or I couldn't dream of telling you. But I suppose she did say how it was all a wee bit of a bore.
What was?
Well, It's just that I happened to be seated near her in the hairdresser the other day, and someone asked her if she were free the following evening. And I heard her say, "No, I can't. I'm dining with Lionel Lamson. Oh, he's lovely, but I can't take all that art talk. It bores me to tears."
Janet said that?
I may have misheard, but I don't think so, because then she went on to say... Oh, no, Lionel, I'm not going to say any...
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I insist.
Oh, this is awful. I shouldn't have had another drink. You won't think badly of me, will you? I couldn't bear that.
Gladys, I shall consider your confidence an act of friendship.
Well, what I actually heard her say was, such a crashing bore. Because with Lionel, one can always tell exactly what will happen. I mean, right from beginning to end. For dinner, we always go to the same grill room. Afterwards, always to the same nightclub. And for 2 hours, I'll have to listen to him droning away about pictures. Always pictures. And then he will have a cigar and blow the smoke right in my face. And then a taxi home. And then at the front door, while I fish for my key, he'll stand beside me with a sort of silly spaniel look in his eyes. Why, Lionel, what's the matter, dear? Wait, you've forgotten your coat. You are a bitch, Gladys, dear.
Oh, thank heavens, there you are. Good morning, son. I was quite worried. Your bed was unslipped in, sir. Here's your coffee, sir.
Out for it. Oh, good morning, Wilkins.
Very good, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to speak to Mr. John Royden, please. Just say a prospective client is calling. Oh, I know he only paints women. That's just the point.
Mr. Royden, sir.
Oh, show him in, please. Please sit down, Mr. Royden.
John.
John, I have an unusual request to make of you. Something of a rather personal nature. I hope I can trust you to be discreet.
Of course.
I want you to paint a portrait of a certain lady here in town. I want to possess, besides a Royden for my collection, a very fine portrait of her. But there are complications. For example, there are reasons why I don't want the lady to know that it is I who am commissioning the portrait.
Why? Is she married?
Not yet. It's just that I have my own reasons for not...
I'm a painter, an artist. I paint pictures. All this social stuff is rather a waste of time.
Oh, I am sorry. I was under the impression that you are what used to be called a society painter.
Look, I paint women. I have a special feeling for them.
So I believe.
If they interest me, I paint them.
I think we understand each other now. Do you happen to know a lady by the name of Janet de Pelagia?
I've seen her picture in the glossy magazines, of course.
Of course. So it's a pity you don't know her. Well, we'll get to that later. Now, I'd like the portrait full length, about twice the size of this little Matisse here.
About 60 by 36.
Exactly. And standing. That, to my mind, is her most graceful attitude.
Look, Mr. Lamson.
Lionel.
Of course, Lionel. I'm a painter.
So you say.
And we painters have to make a living.
John, I am willing to pay you 50% over and above your usual fee.
Yes, I do remember she has a remarkably interesting face.
Oh, she does. Now, to eliminate the final difficulty, how to contrive a meeting between you and the lady in question without arousing her suspicions. Now, we must make it look like a coincidence. I suggest you tell her she's the sort of model you've been searching for years. Just the right face, the right figure, the right colored eyes, you know that sort of thing. And then ask her if she'd mind sitting for you. Oh, free of charge, of course. I feel sure she'd be delighted to help.
Mr. Lamson's residence.
Oh, good morning, Miss de Bellagio. No, madam, I'm afraid he's not back yet from Saint-Tropez. Oh, could you hold on a moment, please, madam? There's someone at the front door. Would you come in, please? Yes, bring it in here, if you mind. Put it just by the table. Sorry about that, madam. Well, I think I can now say that Mr. Lamson will be back very shortly. Oh, please be careful. Pardon? Oh, yes, it has been a long time, madam, almost 3 months. Yes, I shall look forward to that, madam. Yes, of course, madam. I tell him that you telephoned often. Good day, madam. I should like to send a cable, please. To Lamson, Hotel Byblos, Saint-Tropez. Yes, France.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Wilkins. Excellent. Help me move this onto the easel.
Oh, very good.
Please. Easy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, round there.
Yes, sir. There have been several messages for you, sir.
Step up.
Yes. Miss de Pelagia telephoned several times. And Mrs. Gladys Ponsonby. She wanted to know exactly where you were.
I'm sure.
I just said the south of France.
Very tactful of you, Wilkins. Oh, Wilkins, I'll be working in here for the next 2 or 3 days. I want to be left absolutely alone. I want my meals on a tray and left out there. Is that understood?
Clearly, sir.
And Wilkins, that order is to take effect immediately.
Yes, sir.
Perfectly dreadful. Deceptive. This is almost embarrassing. Janet.
Everything all right, sir?
Oh, well, yes, absolutely, Wilkins. Monday, I am giving a party, Wilkins.
Very good, sir.
No, because I want to see to walk. It's so
Now, ladies and gentlemen, now I promised you a surprise, and I promise you won't be disappointed. We ready, Wilkins?
Ready, sir.
Now for the magic moment.
Oh, get me out.
Certainly. Yes. Come this way.
Get me out of here.
How are you feeling next?
Oh,
Lionel, you are wicked. Don't you think it would be rather cozy if I were to stay and cheer you up?
I'm
let's
sorry,
see.
sir. I couldn't stop that.
Wilkins, please, it's all right. Just do as I ask.
Very good, ma'am.
I forgive you, Lionel. I just wanted you to know that I forgave you completely for everything. I know it was only a joke. But, darling, you mustn't listen to the things people say. I love you, Lionel. I shall always love you to my dying day.
Janet, my darling girl.
I had to tell you. Open it. Open it. It's a little peace offering.
What can I say?
I don't know how to apologize.
Oh, darling, don't try it.
Caviar.
So,
Thank you, Wilkins. The important thing is, Lionel, darling, that we're friends again.
Janet, this is delicious. Just delicious. No.